This is my 2019 December Daily album. This is probably the craftiest of all of my December dailies. Normally in my project life and our family albums and things like that, I have a fairly clean layout style. And I often have like lots of product left over from December daily kits and things like that. But it was really fun to just use the products this year and just really layer them on more than I normally would. This was the first year I took product play also, so that really encouraged me to just play more with the various elements in the album. This album is not done. There are a few gaps, one of them most notably being the calendar, and it will get finished. It just hasn't yet because it's 2020 and, you know, things in 2020 are hard. This page here, this first page, is inspired by the product play class that year, and I just love it. I think it's so fun to have it laying on top of this transparency, on top of this digital element and layered element. The challenge with it is I have a 2-year-old, and he likes to touch all the pretty things. So things that are outside of the page protector like this are a bit at a risk, and some have suffered and had to be replaced along the way. This was a really fun flip-up element of the babies in our Peps group, all dressed as elves, and there's actually a picture of Henry under there that you can kind of see. But it's one of my favorite pages in the album. I do a lot of adding 3x8 or different size page protectors into these albums. I think it really adds a lot of visual texture, and I like having these little tabbies there too. It helps show that, oh, there's something different here, and there's something different coming. Oh, 2x2. I really like the look of 2x2 in my albums. I hate trying to make them. I find them very frustrating. But this year it got a little bit better because I bought a fuse tool so that I could fill in these empty little rogue pockets with glitter and make shaker pockets, and that made things more fun. Gotta have Baby Yoda. We love Baby Yoda in this house, especially last year when Mandalorian was just starting, so that was really fun. This is another page from Product Play that was fused to make these various hexagons. The idea was to have a full page photo behind it. Clearly that hasn't happened yet, but I still do love the page. Henry had just turned 1 right before, or a few months before this Christmas, and so he was just into everything. I actually think that this year was harder to complete December Daily, which is probably why it's not done, than when he was an infant, because he was just into more stuff. He was more mobile and just really wanted to be involved in all the things. Again, playing around with different sizes. This 4x6 was cut out of a larger 6x8 page protector, just to add another photo to this spread. And it was also fun to be able to use this silk screen. I'd never used silk screens before, and when I made it, it was very dramatic. I guess I was like, oh, is this gonna work? What's gonna happen? So it was fun to use it in this spread. This was another page from Product Play, and I originally thought it would be outside the page protector, but because Henry kept going after those stars on the first page, I decided to put it in the page protector. I may change that in the future so that this is a little more interactive, and that does have writing on the back, but I still think it's pretty. I still like the way it came out, but got to make do with the toddler. This was really cool. We spent this weekend in Washington, D.C. Before going down to Central Virginia to see our families. And we just got to see a lot of cool things in D.C. So it was really neat to see the National Tree and go to the African American History Museum and include some of that ephemera here. I made this pocket with a transparency and some washi tape to hold this map from that museum. So it's nice to have these interactive elements. I went big on the shipping tags this year. I really liked how they looked in the album. I really liked what they added in terms of visual style. So you're going to see a lot of them in this album. I'm trying to get this back straight enough. This was fun to have the different elements of the map corresponding with the different stories of where we went for that little mini trip in DC. I love having a transparency element over top of photos. I think just adds a lot of visual interest. In playing with those shipping tags again, really liked these acetate ornaments, those plastic ornaments. I thought that they were really fun movement element and ribbon. I don't think I've ever used ribbon so much as I used in this December Daily, and I really, I really like how it looks. This was fun getting to have this holiday with our families, and because of the way 2020 has gone, this is actually the last time we've seen our families in person was Christmas time last year, and that's been really tough. So it's really special to have this so thoroughly documented, because it was a time that was really nice, and I was really glad we had it. We had we have a very blended family, so to have everybody in one place, and the reason everybody was in one place was for Henry's baptism. He was baptized on the 15th, and we had all of our various family members there, and that was really, really cool. I have the photos printed. They just haven't quite gotten in here for his baptism. I liked using the plane ticket there for the page that day. Another shipping tag about what I was reading that time. And now here we're back at home. Star Wars. Star Wars makes a lot of appearances in my December Daily albums, mostly because that's when those new new movies are released. This was fun. We got to actually have a date night out to go see that. It was one of our last date nights out before the pandemic hit, so it's pretty special there. This was hilarious. Henry kept falling in his toy box because he wasn't quite tall enough to reach down into the bottom, and we kept thinking he looked like Santa Claus going down the chimney with his feet stuck in the air. He didn't like it, but it was really, really funny. Another thing we often do is going to church on Christmas Eve. One of the elements that you didn't see in this December Daily that we do every year is going to get the tree. That's because we actually went in November, and it was a bit of a fiasco. So it didn't actually end up making it into our December Daily, but we did have a tree that year, so don't worry, it did happen. I really like this layout. I decided to just go for it with this repeated circle element, and I love all the different textures and colors of green. This photo pocket was also from Product Play, and I think it's really fun how it holds extra pictures from Christmas Eve. I think it's really neat to have those, a place that holds those extra pictures. This was Christmas Day, again in our matching Christmas jammies, in our traditions that are still continuing to evolve with Henry and with our family. Because this album ended up being so thick, I didn't include Christmas cards this year, which is a bit of a bummer. I miss looking back and seeing those, but because there's so many physical embellishments in here, I wasn't able to include them. But I still really like the album, and think it was a really fun one to put together. And that's my December daily from 2019.